Good afternoon. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and today will be Doctor Strange versus the Collector, Part 2 on Expert Difficulty, Escape the Museum. Once again, playing with no campaign cards. So we got Library Labyrinth, just playing straight up versus Expert Difficulty, where I think the difficulty balance is much better. Deal yourself one face down encounter card. Remove 5 threat from the main scheme. That's a hero action. That's great. When the round ends, flip this card. Oh, whoops, I was checking out B2. It starts on B1. Gets plus X scheme, plus X attack, where X is equal to the main scheme's current stage number. When Collector would be defeated, remove 3 threat from the main scheme and flip this card instead. We have no additional setup instructions. The missing Milano. When the last threat is removed from this scheme, advance to stage 2A. The players win by advancing. Okay. So let's see what we got from the invocation deck. Vapors of Valtor, the worst one to start with. But it's better than it coming up second, because at least we can deal with it in Stephen Strange mode. We'll drop 2 cards and draw 2 more. So let's go ahead and use Stephen Strange to discard Vapors of Valtor. Crimson Bands, much more to my liking. We'll use Spiritual Meditation. Draw 2. Discard Magical Enhancements. I don't think I've ever played that card in a round. Let's use the Power in All of Us to get out the Sorcerer. No, let's use 2 Power in All of Us and get out Avengers Mansion. And then we'll draw a card. And then we'll use Power of Leadership and Nick Fury to play Sorcerer Supreme. Let's go ahead and flip Thwart for 2. I don't think I'm going to use this right now. We'll just leave this for a round or maybe 2 and we'll get set up. So we'll just draw 5. Got +1 hand size thanks to the Sorcerer Supreme. So 1 threat, 1 attack from the Collector, which will be face tanked. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. And then 1 encounter card, which is Star Shark, which has Quick Strike for 3 attack. Ouch. Then we're on to the hero phase. We'll draw a card with Avengers Mansion. I'm going to go Master the Mystic Arts using Squirrel Girl and then play Crimson Bands. It's going to have to go something like this. 1, 2 for the Crimson Bands. Take out the Star Shark. And then we'll use Spider-Man to play Stinger. And then we're going to deal an encounter card and remove 5 threat using the Library Labyrinth. And then we'll use Stinger to just... Actually, she's just going to sit there. We'll flip to Alter Ego, we'll cycle, and then we'll recover for 3 and draw 5. So next turn should be a big turn with Winds of Watum. 1 threat, Collector Schemes for 3, 4. And then we've got 2 encounter cards to deal with. 1 is I Have You Now. Exhaust your identity in the Collector Schemes for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully he doesn't do that again. Impossible Geometry, Insight 1. That's going to end the game, unfortunately. So let's reset, try it again. Here we go. Let's get shuffled up. I don't think I need to keep magical enhancements. And keep the others. Let's see what... Great. Winds of Wantum is a good one to start with. Everything else good. Okay. So let's go ahead and flip to Doctor Strange. We'll use him to draw 3. We'll use Master of the Mystic Arts and Sanctum Sanctorum to play the Eye. Use the Eye plus Astral Projection to play Cloak. Use these 3 to play Spider-Man, and we'll give him +2 to thwart, and thwart for 3. And use Strange to thwart for 2. Then we'll draw 4. So once again, 1 threat, we're going to have Collector attack Strange for 1, 2, 3, so just 1 damage. Don't need to have him face tank this round because I've got the cloak, so I can still get off a invocation card. So we got 1 encounter card, which is attached to the enemy with the lowest scheme. Fortunately, that's the Collector, and that is an extra encounter card. So we need to spend 3 lightning resources. Fortunately, I do have that fairly easily. So we'll go ahead and do that during the hero phase. Get rid of this Vendarian Power Wand. And we'll use Cloak. We'll use Eye of Agamotto to play 7 rings. Well, actually, I think I'm going to go Maria Hill first. Draw, thwart for 2, and then we'll play 7 rings with the Cloak, or with the Eye. And so that exhausts Doctor Strange. And we'll add toughness to... First, we'll attack with Spider-Man for 2. Then we'll add toughness to everyone. Or would I rather push us into phase 2? I think I'd rather push us into phase 2. Let's not attack for 2. Let's go into phase 2. Advance to 2A. So we need the Milano support from the Star Command encounter set. That be here. Yep. So we found the ship. When the last threat is removed from this scheme, advance to stage 3A. Okay. So we'll keep Astral Projection. We used 7 rings. And we'll just draw 4. And so we got 1 threat. We got a Collector attack, which can go on Maria Hill. So he's attacking for 4 now. Psionic Ghost comes into play, but it's not revealed. So that'll remove the toughness. And we just need to thwart for 12, which Doctor Strange can do pretty well. He thwarts well. So how do I want to do this? I can thwart for 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7, 8. Have extra resources. Use the Milano and Power in All of Us. Well, let's use Power in All of Us for Sorcerer Supreme since this isn't the last turn. Let's use Eye of Agamotto and the Milano for Crimson Bands. And we'll just deal with his Psionic Ghost that way. Let's go ahead and use the Cloak for So that was the cloak's usage for the Crimson Bands. Then we'll just go ahead and Goliath Wong for Astral Projection, remove 3. Plus the boost, which is 1. We'll use Doctor Strange to thwart as well, and we'll draw 6. So 1 threat, 1 collector attack. Remove toughness. And then 1 encounter card. Oh, I forgot about the Library Labyrinth. When revealed, you are stunned, collector attacks you. We can just face tank that because we can ping the, we can remove the toughness, so no problem. And then on the hero phase, we can go ahead and cloak eye for images of Icon, remove 4 threat. And then just Doctor Strange. What? No, not 4 HP. 4 threat. And then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick Fury and remove 3. This scenario seems relatively easy, even on Expert, at least with Doctor Strange, who's very strong on threat removal. There's certainly heroes that would struggle with this. I'm enjoying these scenarios when not played in the campaign. I did not enjoy these scenarios when trying to play them in campaign mode. My guess would be this expansion was a victim of COVID-19 because I believe it released 2021. They were typically releasing a expansion box every 6 months, which means that the first one, Red Skull, came out 4 months after the shutdown. At least it was scheduled for 4 months after the shutdown. So most of the work on it was probably done before COVID. This was probably the first campaign developed entirely under the COVID lockdown, which means they were trying to playtest remotely somehow, talking to each other over video calls instead of in person. And I think the scenarios are relatively well designed, at least the first 3. But the campaign mode, which probably came afterwards, was a garbled mess, unfortunately. That's my guess as to what happened. But anyway, if we were to be playing on campaign mode, we would have to be using There Is No Escape, the side quest There Is No Escape from the campaign cards. And There Is No Escape on standard mode would add an additional 7 threat. Now you don't have to clear it on standard mode, there's no reason to. Similar to the last collector scenario, it's just worth victory points. But if you're playing on expert difficulty, it adds a plus boost icon. And it's 9 threat. That's not as bad as the one from the last scenario, which added an additional encounter card. That was pretty bad. And then in addition, if you're playing on Expert Campaign, you have to discard from the top of the encounter deck until you discard an attachment. So, yeah, this campaign is just not possible on Expert difficulty without advanced cards that, frankly, we haven't looked at yet. And if you told me... So, I'm doing this progression series in May of 2023. There's, I think, 3 more expansion boxes available beyond this one. And if you told me that even with a full collection of cards, players still can't beat the Expert Campaign from this set, I would not be surprised at all. Yeah, there's 3 more boxes: Mad Titans, Shadow, Sinister Motives, Mutant Genesis. If you told me that even with a full collection, players can't beat Expert Galaxy's Most Wanted campaign, I would not be surprised at all. The difficulty is intense in the campaign mode, but it's just fine when you're playing on Expert without the campaign cards. It's comparable to Rise of the Red Skull, at least through the first 3 scenarios. Now, I know the challenge ramps up quite a bit with Nebula and with Ronin. That was the case with Rise of the Red Skull as well. But for the first 3 scenarios, they're just fine on expert mode. It's the campaign mode that's the problem, really. Anyway, thank you for watching.